somebody in here has to be setting this camera out because I like this one. And move it over here. This bigger, we'll make this bigger here. Mid. All right. Participants chat. These are joining. Okay. So what's going on with him right now is I think they're looking to dissolve organization or something like that because of fraud related to it. So basically what happens is if you look it up, they'll say that in certain documents, the Mar-a-Lago estate is valued at what, $1 billion, 400 million, 40 million, and 18 million. Right? So you have different numbers, all kinds of different scales. Like I'm trying to figure out why it works like that. So I'm sure it's some type of tax thing that they're working to make it look like it's less valuable than what it is. So you pay less on it than what you're worth, which is also probably fraud, but common business practices. So it's like, is that commonly acceptable? And there's some arguments to that. But basically what happened was the judge made a determination that the 18 million, the property was overvalued. It should have been worth 18 million. And if you look at the property values for houses nearby Mar-a-Lago, you're already talking 40 million. So it's like buckery's going on there. That's really interesting. Something to definitely watch. Not the topic for today. Not like forever. That's me. All right. So today I want to talk to you about some things. So that's a portion of discussion. I did this a couple years back, and let's see, it's probably one of these two. Which one's first? I think that one's probably first. That's the next part. I'll show you some stuff to reframe what you know about it. All right, so I need to stick up probably right about there. We'll start with some of the attachments and stuff, and I'll bring them back up for you to talk about. So I can't see my class. Let's see. So we got 4 in here so far. We'll see how many other people rolled in. So last time we were talking about homicide. Different than murder. Murder is a homicide, but you also have the unlawful aspects of it. Right? Homicide is killing another. Talk about death. Talk a little bit about life. And that led us to the topic of abortion. So we'll deal with that aspect of it to start. Okay. Last time when I asked you all to identify how we identify whether someone is alive, like there's a wide variety of things there. When you think about all the different people, all the different conditions they could be in at any given point in time in their lifetime, it's like, yeah, that's a ton of different things. This one, I'm trying to figure out where does life begin? Not rhetorical. What were the options you guys gave?
Beating heart.
Heart. What else? Brain.
Breathing.
Breath. Those are some big ones. Right? Brain. Start with that one first. No, because that's kind of a bigger argument for later stages, right? We'll come back to that one first. We'll come back to that one later. We'll deal with earlier stages first. Okay? Which of those happens first?
If you count the way to a heartbeat, but it's not really a heartbeat, it's usually just less rapid.
Ooh, is it a Heartbeat.
Depends on-
That's a hell of a question. That's a point of discussion that's really come up within the last couple of years where you've seen that one raised. It's like, it's not even a real heartbeat. This is an electronic output from some device that we're holding up to your stomach.
But it's not actually blood being pumped through the heart.
Yeah, it's not being blood. Function. Movement. Existence? Question mark. What are we talking about? When we say heartbeat? What do we mean? I don't know. Right? Is that heartbeat? You're right, there is no blood, so there's no function, there is movement. Is it really there? Is it real? Question mark. Okay. We'll come to that one back in a second. Brain activity. You found it. How?
More electrical activity, but it's actually.
Holy shit, you just hit on a funny one right there, right? One aspect of it. Like, this is an honest one. We'll deal with that one. Is it a heartbeat? Well, first, is it a heart? Its function. Movement. It's got some movement. It doesn't have much in the function. The way we determine it, like the sound is made up, maybe. Maybe you have really good ears. You get really close to it. You can actually hear it yourself, but not when you're talking about cellular scale. Would it make sound? Yes. Does it? Is it perceptible to us? No. Same thing with brain activity, right? Function, existence. Movement's not really there because it doesn't really move, does it? I mean, there's blood flow to it. It does stuff, but not the same thing as doing this. Okay. Breath. How do we know if you're doing
Lungs develop.
it? Okay. Lungs developed. Question mark. Function after born. Movement? Question mark. Is there movement? Okay. Does that happen in utero? It can. It does, actually. You don't breathe, but you're moving those lungs. You're strengthening your lungs. That's one of the things that happens in utero.
And that could also be another argument, just movement in general, like arm movement.
It's a hell of a question. We'll come back to that. Okay. So movement. One of the most interesting things with smokers, women smokers, pregnant women smokers, when they smoke, baby stops practicing breathing. That's one of the reasons why you get underdeveloped lungs, why you get asthma in smokers. Yeah, that shit sucks. Ask me how I know. My mom's a smoker. Eat cigarettes. Right. Not smoking in general. Smoking pretty cool. Got some chuckles on that one. Still trying to figure out you guys' humor. It's like, I'm getting a better beat on. All right. So, movement. Okay. You have the development, you have movement, and you have function with a lot of these things. You won't have it here. Okay. Next question. Time. Okay, we've hit one. That one happens after you're born. Okay. When does this one happen?
That for like 12 weeks, that's what we see here, or the 16. Something's 12 weeks and something 16 weeks.
That is the only symbol that I use regularly from math.
There's 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay, that's good. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember the stuff off my hand. That's why if you look us back and I'll pull it up front in a minute, you can see kind of a chart of in utero development. It's like, I got no idea. Yeah, it's like, I have to look at a chart. It's like, and there, okay, there. Okay, so 4 weeks. Brain activity. Any ideas there?
I would say later than that.
Okay. This one's gonna be. That didn't look like an A. After. This one definitely. Okay. How do we tell them? Talking about the brain. You have the upper and lower, right? Higher thought processes, autonomic systems in your lower, that kind of thing. Autonomic systems will run this, they'll run this. That kind of thing.
8. There's electrical activity, but that's essentially the same thing as the heartbeat saying that there's electrical activity.
8 week electoral activity.
That's typically the way we calculate.
Okay. So time's a hell of a thing here. You're like this. Yes, there's something going on at this stage, but is that really it? There are some questions here, right? It's probably most easily identifiable here. Brain activity, right? Electrical impulses as early as 8 weeks. What is actually there, right? At 8 weeks, is it a brain?
No,
What is it?
it's clump cells still.
Is it
Neural tube is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's from the beginning of the last period, which that
Yeah.
is impossible that a baby would even be.
Yeah, no, and then it's some guesswork. It's usually average about 7 to 10 days after that period when she's most fertile, and then. You know, you have to have sex usually somewhere between the day of to 3 days before, because it can stay in there 3 days long. Usually if I remember correctly, there's a little bit of an inclination to where if you have it a little earlier than that fertility window, the sperm that lives longer is female. So you're more likely to have females, right? Neural tube is the very, very start of your brain development. It is essentially what will develop both your brain and your spinal cord, right? Why are we using that for this? Pain. Before the development of the neural tube, what is there has no ability to sense pain. Afterwards, it does. Right? Bring that up again towards the end of the conversation. I'll tell you it's really dark. It's dark. Very, very dark. You'll already know where I'm going, but it's actually worse than what you think. Okay. This one. And this one. It's like they are not their final forms. What it is you have what will be the forerunner to that organ. It will have some function, not total function. Any function is function. right? We're looking from a, oh, this one's always fun because people play with this one. A biologist's perspective. Biologist's perspective. They found a single cell that was actively splitting. Is that life? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Does that mean, is that how we should handle it here? No. No, that's just one side of the argument. The other side of the argument is, how would we best put it? We're so concerned about that, then why is it we've not gone after Kleenex for the many genocides it's caused? Right? That happens too. To get in those figures, we'll talk about those numbers in a little bit. Because basically, if you want to know about the potential for life lost that's lost on an annual or monthly basis, you need to look at basically anyone who's had any sexual activity during the reproductive years of their life. And that's how many potential pregnancies are lost. It's like sometimes they happen, you know, never know. There's no way to know. There's no way to test that, but we'll get to that. Okay. Breath. So lungs developed. It's like, yeah, that's a mark. We don't use that one at all. We just use whether you take an actual breath. But even if we're talking about that, we're talking about actual function. You can't breathe, what happens? How fast?
Pretty fast.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Survival tip. This is a good tip to have. Rule of 3, right? 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. Average person, because they won't like that, but they can live through that. So I have to get to that point where people start dying. You can go faster if you're in extreme conditions. Say 3 seconds without hope. It's one of those things. It means you need to start planning ahead if you find yourself in an actual survival situation. So 3 minutes, you're born 3 minutes, you don't have this function. Goodbye. No worry, right? We use it as a measure for this. Ooh. So, no function. What happens if they're there, but they're not functional? We breathe for you. Are you considered alive?
Yes.
What is it?
I was gonna say that when I was born, my lungs actually weren't developed fully, so they had to put me on a machine to breathe for me, and that's the only reason I'm here.
Very, very common.
Yeah.
It's like my youngest. First one we had this prematurely. We had one that was technically term, but one like 2 weeks early. She was 3 weeks early. Had to have I want to say respirator, the breathing thing where they basically pump air into you and that kind of thing to help with that some. You get it too early, basically what they have to start doing is they have to use, what was it, like a super saturated liquid, oxygen saturated liquid, because your lungs are so undeveloped for those. So early stage, I'm talking earlier than 30 weeks, you don't really have lungs. If we put air in it, they're gonna fall apart and you're gonna die instantly kind of thing. It's like, yeah, still alive? Well, we're working real hard to keep it that way kind of thing. I said this, if you want to use this as an actual measure, you guys ever heard of an iron lung? You realize there's at least one person I know that's still alive today who's in one from tuberculosis era, right? If you pull the plug on him and say it's murder. Yeah, okay. Brain activity, probably the best correlate for this one is coma patient or sleeping. Heartbeat. Well, sounds a little bit harder, but feel like artificial hearts, those kind of things. Yeah, it's like, hold the things on. When we start looking at the actual stages of development, so share screen, this green one, I think that's green one. Yeah, I'll grab this. And we'll say, download all, no, forget it, just download this one. Boom. Make that a little bit bigger. What we're doing is we're literally gonna make it bigger. Make it bigger. There we go. From 1 all the way up to baby, Where is the stage that it is okay to say, you know what? We've decided we don't want this. That's what we're functionally doing, right? Now, people being as many as they are and having as many different opinions, so I'll put those as well after the fact. So when do you guys say it starts to look like a baby?
These are weird, because it's always, I mean, it's always to scale
Yeah,
comparatively.
now, now,
Like you wouldn't even be able to see with your visible eye,
uh-uh.
1 month, to 3 months.
Yeah, yeah. I wanna say that an unfertilized egg is the biggest cell in humans, big enough that you should be able to see it with a naked eye, but it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna look like a dot kind of thing. By the time you start getting down here, you can probably see it if it were outside. When you're yeah, there you go. Where's baby? Baby here? Yes? Okay. Ooh, we can do it a fun way. Raise your hands if you think it's a baby. Okay,
This is a trick question.
no, it isn't. 'Cause watch it, hands might go down, and if it does, that's okay. It's like, I'm not here for opinions, I'm here, it's like to show you, it's like there's some discussion on this, okay? Baby. Baby. Baby, okay? That's the easy one. Baby,
This one, but
baby,
once it goes past the point of being able to survive.
baby, baby. I don't see too many hands anymore. I don't know what the hell that monster is, but yeah. Ooh, biology fact. Forget who says it. Great quote, makes you sound really intelligent. Ontogeny, stages of in utero development, recapitulates phylogeny. So the further back you go, the more steps we have in common with the more things that we're closely, like, if we only share this much, we're less related than if we share this much, kind of thing. Like monkeys, they all start to look like babies, and then in this stage they differentiate out. Starfish, they'll look like us, still about there. You know, it's like, then they do something different. There's a word for it, and I can't think, someone you just said it, you'll think of it. So, I remembered it. Viability. That's the word. Did you say that word? Yeah. That's the word, right there. What is this word? Yeah, something about your chances to live. Viability. Able to survive. Question. Say that with some questions. Okay. First off, do we have a set number for this? What is the age of viability?
One of the earliest, I mean, we can keep babies alive up to 27 weeks. But
27 weeks?
it depends on the development.
Yeah.
of the baby.
Why are you having a baby early? Right? Are there medical things going on? It's like, complications, right? Complications kill. Complications kill everyone. Stay out of hospitals. That's what I recommend. Yeah. Viability, as it's defined, isn't the date at which babies will survive, it's the date at which half can. Half. That means for everyone we tried at this stage, half lived, that's viable. Right? Viability will vary by area depending on economy, hospitals, technology availability, money, 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 money. Okay? Just be tied into money. It is, it already is. Should be more tied into money. Do you think that'd make it better? Probably not. Probably not there, no. So this will vary by areas. Okay, so that's. Mean, the average? What's the earliest date somebody can live? What is the earliest date?
My classmate, she had her baby at 2 months
Oh,
and he wasn't
yes.
even like a pound.
Yeah.
Now he's up to 4 pounds, so.
That's amazing. Let's see, what is viability? No, not viability.
Yeah.
Earliest. Born. I will say. Premature birth, there we go. Okay. 34, 36 is, yeah, that's late preterm. After 38 is considered full term. At less than 32, it's early, extremely preterm before 25. As early as a premature baby can survive. 15 months old, it's only 132 days of gestation. So, what is that? Where's my calculator? This doesn't have a calculator button. 132 divided by 7. 18 weeks. Yeah, so 18 weeks, and that's a kid who's lived for some period of time, right? Like, it's like that's gonna be real shaky. That's gonna be, that's. I feel for him. That's a hell of a situation to be in, right?
Yeah, he's had like 5 different like brain surgeries and like stunts and his lungs weren't developed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough.
she's only 19.
Good golly. Yeah. Hard subject to talk about. I mean, it's like if you think about the weight that any of it carries, any decision related to anything for someone whom anyone has complete total care for, that's fucking unbelievable. But okay, the earliest far younger than this, right? So there's a chance. Ooh. Artificial. For humans. Hey, look, a few weeks ago. Oh, it didn't leave the headline up. It brought me to the. They're already discussing it. They're already working on it with animals. It won't be long.
Preterm babies.
Okay. Maybe we'll fix this in a generation's time. This is a good possibility. Or we could go completely the opposite way and use it to control people. And that would be really, really awful. That could happen too. Okay. So in terms of technology, it's like that stuff's changing a lot. A lot. Okay. Questions about heartbeat, brain activity, breath, viability. Okay. We'll get numbers yet. How are we doing on time? 30. I get time for numbers. Okay. So the first thing is these landmarks. Next thing we need to do, talk about, that's interesting, wonder theory. Let's get that out there. Stop that share. Stop. All right, there we go. Okay, so what we need to talk about next. We need to talk about numbers. Everything that's going on with it now that doesn't. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Now, let's start there. There's a few other things that sometimes come up that people want to discuss in terms of specific situations related to these things. Okay. How many are there how many take place on an annual basis? Less than people think. Okay.
There's an idea that it's so many, but like an average woman that's had like over 30 or something, it's like one or less.
And the older. Yeah. Okay. First, we'll talk about things not included in this. Because you're gonna have to do that a little bit. I'm not discussing this topic, other things that are similar will come up. For example, we're trying to figure out the number of abortions. We want to look at, well, probably one of the things we want to make sure doesn't get included is that. Do not continue. Right, for sometimes medical reasons, medical issues come up and you have to stop. Right? That's not the same thing as this. It isn't. To mix the two is false. When we start talking about murder, like as in adults or kids or people, fully formed, more fully formed people, or not people at all, if you're just not people, whatever. If I said murder and suicides, it's like those are two wildly different things, right? You would never put those two things together unless you're dealing with generalized deaths. That's not what this term is. This term has very specific to it. This is not the same thing. Right? You want the real numbers, like you're thinking like lives lost or potential lives lost. That's that one. That's also the same thing with the that's what I have to talk about next. We're talking about function. We'll come back to numbers in a second. Let's talk about that first because there's some things people probably don't know. Okay. First one everyone knows. Right? You engage in this activity right here, chances increase that you will have children in months' time, right? Depending on how you do it. Yeah. That's a possibility. What is its function? This should not, why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Uncomfortable? Is that what it is? Okay. I have no shame. As one of those few things in life, it's like, I really don't care. It's like, that discomfort, I used to be like, used to have some discomfort. Stuff I'm like, that'll go away in time. Just wait. What is the purpose of this? One aspect of it is reproduction, right? The essential element is this one. It does other things too. What does it do?
Entertainment.
I like that one. Entertain. Yes, it does. Think of how much money goes into it for that specific purpose. Jesus. God, what is OnlyFans? How much money goes into that? Don't get me started on OnlyFans. That's worst thing for humanity right now. That, yeah, that's like up there with TikTok and all that other crap, Grindr, Tinder, all that. Like, get rid of that stuff. Humanity will be better. Okay. Reproduction, entertainment. What else?
Pleasure,
Okay, our connection. I heard something with a bird.
pleasure.
Connection, pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Pretty good list right there. We'll stop there. What we hit there is we hit, okay. Biological. Also biological. This reinforces this. Because if that wasn't there, how many people are going to willingly carry a person in them for 3/4 of a year? Significant cost for resources. Just difficult functioning and everything that goes with it. From a survival aspect, this is a huge cost. The likelihood that, look at animals, okay? What happens to a rat if it's pregnant and scared? Usually it'll abort itself, just scared, right? Animals will do that. If you wait long enough, it has the kids in the environment that's scared, it'll eat the kids. Why? Energy, flee. I survive, I can have more, right? This reinforces this, because that's a considerable cost. This is a benefit, a major one for social connections. There's a lot of research on that. It would do everyone really, really, really well to be familiar with that. Probably if you've ever been exposed to most common things, you'll hear things like pair bonding is what they'll talk about. And there are numbers associated with your ability to do that related to this. It's another reason why society is kind of going off the rails. Entertainment, yeah, that's fun, okay? In terms of its purpose. Okay. First, I'll talk to you from an interesting biological bond. Okay. You all have certain hormones in you. Yes? Hormones related to this. Yes, reproduction. Okay. What causes those hormones to exist? What's the thing that's pumping those hormones into your body? There are organs that do it. What are they? I'm not looking for any vulgar names or any specific names. You could use a term I've already got up on the board if it helps. Yes, your reproductive organs. Guy loses his testes. He needs to be put on testosterone fast, right? Otherwise, you start having some very massive physical changes. Women, hysterectomy, right? Same thing. When you get older, happens to all of us, right? Like, that's something you guys probably have to look forward to in your 20s now. It's probably about 30 years, right? That's going to happen to all of us. Okay. The interesting thought is the fact that those things that are driving you, their whole purpose is to create an organism that isn't human, right? I said gamete, sperm, egg, those kind of things. They're not like you. They have half your DNA. They're different animals. Get this with you. It makes you do this. Okay. To get one of, gamete was that? I think that's meiosis. Meiosis. Been a long time since I've taken biology. Don't need to know that. What you need to know is for, let's say, let's do this, say sperm and egg to meet, you get a baby. Most instances. Doesn't always happen, right? Why am I talking about this? Birth control, how does it work?
It makes your body think that you're pregnant, so you don't release those hormones.
Yes. So depending on how long you take it, it works in a few different ways, right? If you take it over a period of time, it'll stop ovulation, right? Barring that. Yeah. Sperm. No reach, right? It'll change, I guess you'd say, the internal environment to the point at which this can't travel to meet this. Right? Less likely to fertilize, if there's even an egg present. And in the event that there is an egg present, and the sperm attaches to it, it will prevent no attach to the uterus, say the wall, that's not the right term. I can't remember. Okay? No egg, no abortion, no fertilized egg. No fertilized egg, no abortion. This one, that egg was fertilized, it just didn't attach. Didn't attach. Is that an abortion? Oh, the way most people define it now. Yeah, obviously not. Some, though, would. This is where you get the religious groups. It's like, we don't do that. Why? Because you're killing us. It's like you're losing that potential chance for that opportunity for a chance for that to occur. Right? How many times does this happen without this? Quite a bit. There's no way to capture that. So it's like, if you want to know how many people fertilized an egg and didn't get pregnant, that's one number. How many people fertilized an egg and got pregnant and for some reason didn't, whether it was chosen, not really chosen, but this is the choice you have to make kind of thing, or whether it's, hey, that just happened, well, I do that automatically, right? Both of those things can happen quite easily, and there's no accounting for either of those numbers. Remember I was talking about numbers, we're gonna move that in a minute. The numbers that you get, they're almost unusable. I'll show you. And we're at 1141. Okay. We figure out how birth control works. Sex has many things that it does, most of which are good. And numbers. All right, let's see here. Let's see that. Other things I want to talk about here. Oh, boom. Zinc spark is an inorganic signature of human egg activation. This is biology for you guys. This one's from. You gonna show me the rest of it? Of course you're not. Okay, download it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Egg activation refers to events that require for transition of a gamete into an embryo. Okay. The ability for a gamete to mount a zinc spark response is a meiotic stage, and more talks about here. Results demonstrate critical functions for zinc dynamics, establish a zinc spark as an extracellular marker activity of human development. Basically what it was is right here, you see these little flashes here. They put eggs and sperm into a medium that would react to the presence of zinc. It would create that flash. It doesn't actually create a flash, but if it's in a substrate that will react to zinc, it will do that. That is an indication that whenever you see that, those cells will go on to develop into people, right? That is what they will do. They're not the ones where fertilized, nothing happens. You know, biological marker for life, there's one, right? How we do it for legal is different. And we've got reasons for that. Let's see here. Where do I want to move next? There's a few videos I want to show you about, probably have this next time. We will talk about function. We'll come back to them. We'll talk about some negative things. Why would people want to engage in this behavior for negative reasons? It's like sex has many positive things and can be used in negative ways, obviously. Abortions. What are some negative reasons why people might want to encourage it? Yes, encourage abortions. Why would you encourage abortions in people?
Stop the reproduction of certain groups of people.
Okay, eugenics. Eugenics. I misspelled that. I certainly did. Eugenics. That idea did start here. Nazis did really well with that, right? Yeah, no, that's kind of a bad idea. Okay, what are some other ones?
Their abortions are typically pretty expensive, so some people argue it's profit for the doctors.
Yeah. You've got an entire type of facility that is government funded that provides this kind of stuff. Ooh, I just recently heard they also started doing vasectomies. Who'd want a free vasectomy? I mean, like that really worries me, but like, yes, we've got, we start talking about money. Here's something to think about, and I'll leave you on this. How much for that monkey? Okay, this is 3/3/19. It's actually an older article from 2005. I thought this was fun. Police SWAT team in Mesa, Arizona applied for $100,000 grant from the federal government to buy a capuchin monkey trained to perform law enforcement duties. $100,000 for a fucking monkey? A monkey. We're gonna have a monkey. We're gonna train to do some police stuff. It's $100,000. Government funded that. The hell, but anyhow, if a monkey is, we'll say 100 grand for its use, practical applications, developing it and using it for something. What do you think the worth is for a person? Right? What do you think? Let's look at it this way. Medical experimentation, right? You can't do that on people. If you do it in certain ways, you can, but by and large, if you just want to experiment on people, that's not a general thing that's allowed, right? So if I wanted to experiment with humans, where is the best place to go? You can do that. We just start with animals. Well, let's see if it'll play. This is 8 minutes long.
Hello, I'm Cecile
I don't
Richards.
care about you.
Donation is not true.
Okay, well, we will
Hello,
never talk.
I'm Cecile Richards, President of Planned Parenthood Federation of America. I want to be really clear. The allegation that Planned Parenthood profits in any way from tissue donation is not true.
Okay, hold on. Let's put that on the old share screen. Green one. This, sir, we'll back that up a few seconds.
The allegation that Planned Parenthood profits in any way from tissue donation is not true.
Oh, well, it might be disturbing.
What would you expect for intact tissue? What sort of compensation? What sort of?
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you used to pay it?
What are you used to paying? Well, who is this? I don't care about that. Oh. Investigators closing a tissue procurement company met with the president of, well, fuck. It's a hell of a thing. I don't know what to believe here, but just as a thought to think about it, what would be the monetary value in people's DNA, tissue to experiment on, genes to play with, or health? Let's say, depending on how early you are in this stage, people might not classify you as human. We can get you to live outside of the womb, even though you're not technically classified as alive. You'll keep developing. What do I have? A test subject, yeah. Somebody's child from somewhere. How far are we from that? This thing's just nasty to even think about, let alone how far it can go with the technology we have right now. Right? There are massive incentives to keep this around. There's the question about whether this stuff happens, that kind of stuff, the bad stuff. On the negative side, people will use it to make money. People will definitely use it for this. Whether or not it is actively being used in that way right now is probably not. Is up for question. And next time I'll show you what it actually does, and then that'll kind of fill in the rest of your ideas of how that should work. And then we'll finish up talking about this next class and maybe start with the other types of market. This one, it's like, in terms of why we have it around, it's like there are very, very valid reasons to have it. There are. How do we keep those valid reasons and exclude the ones that aren't. Like that. Eugenics is like, yeah, we don't want that at all. How do we do that as a people? That's how we got to where we're at right now, and that's what I'll talk about next time. All right, I will talk to you all later. Bye. Everybody.